have prepared my block, I cut a 12-inch by 12-inch square. Here, I'll lift it off the others. And I cut out my pieces that I'm going to applique. To do this design, I used a piece of paper and I cut out my shapes. And then when I traced them, I left a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around the shape. It doesn't have to be a perfect 1/4 inch. And I just used a pencil to trace it. So now that I have my pieces all traced, I'm going to start with my first shape. And I'm going to place it on my block. So you need backing fabric that's just one big piece. And then you need your shapes, which will lay on top. And now I'm going to pin my pieces to my base, just so that it doesn't shift. So for applique, you need a few tools. You need some thread. I like to use hand quilting thread. It has a nice kind of like thickness and glaze on it. You'll need some little snips. I like to use short scissors to cut, and then you'll need a needle. They have needles that are called applique sharps, but I actually like to use short hand quilting needles. So let's start sewing. You're gonna put a little knot in the end of your thread, and then you're gonna stick your thread up through your applique piece right along this seam allowance here. Now the needle turn refers to the fact that as you go, you're folding your seam allowance under. I use my fingers, not my needle, to do this. So begin by folding your seam allowance under so that your shape goes right along that pencil line. Now once you do that, you're gonna make a very small stitch through your base fabric, probably like 1 millimeter. Stick it all the way through. Now that's sort of holding the seam allowance down. Now you're gonna slide your needle through your applique piece, sort of right along that pencil line for about maybe more like 3 millimeters, so a bigger bite there. See how it's right in there. Then you're gonna pull your needle out. So your thread is essentially sliding right along the seam allowance through this like little tube here. Now you're gonna go ahead and take another little bite of the base fabric with your needle, 1 millimeter. And then you're gonna go again right along that seam allowance. And you just continue in this manner all the way around your piece. And you can see that we're starting to get this beautiful little texture right there. When you get to an interior curve like this, you can't quite tuck the seam allowance under without it puckering. So you have to take some little snips every few bits just to the pencil line. And then now you can fold these under a little easier. track of, like in knitting. You're just going around